Welcome back to another video. It's been a minute since my last video. I know, been a lot of things, personal things going on. If you've been keeping up with the channel, most of y'all know that we had our family vacation, the week before last, New York, Washington, D.C. I got to do a video on that. Ran a lot of deep pin projects, but that's not what this video is about. Then for this week or last week, on today's Saturday, so I guess technically still this week, we went to visit my son's new university. It was Parents' Day. It was a little overwhelming for me. Y'all know, you're probably sick of hearing me say it, but very close with my son, and him moving 4 hours away to a college is not, I'm not doing well. So, hey, family first. I tell that to a lot of people. This video is going to be about DIMO. Unless you're living under a rock and you haven't been paying attention to my channel, DIMO is, they're in some topsy-turvy times right now. And this video probably going to be titled The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, what's going on with DIMO, new improvements and stuff like that. We're going to go over, they've made some announcements, made some changes, got some people doing videos on it, and I thought I should bring it up to y'all also, to be fair. Some of us kind of knew this was happening. I told some people, do not go and jump off the deep end yet. Some of my friends didn't listen.
DIMO macaron.
So yeah, that was my boy Tech Hustler. If you're in my Discord, please join my Discord. There is a link in the description below. We've been covering all this, and he has done that with several of his deep pin projects. He thinks deep pin is pretty much done with, unless you're in it for the tech. If you're in it for the passive income side of it, hey, I'm not going to delve too much into that in this video. This video is going to be long enough, but I am planning on doing a video probably this weekend. I want to catch up on a couple of different videos, but one I am going to do is, is there really passive income still in deep pin projects? And I'm going to cover a bunch of that, but this is going to be about DIMO. DIMO came out with an announcement recently. They listened to us, so to say, about some, changes, unless you living under a rock. I did 2 videos on DIMO and DIMO about how they want to charge for subscriptions, and then DIMO right here on what they discussed in the AMA about those subscriptions, trying to justify it. And I'll try to go ahead and link those at the end of the video if I can remember. Sometimes I forget to do that. So there has been a lot of feedback. People have not been holding back on Twitter, as you can see on Tech Hustlers. But to be fair, he did that again to several other projects too. But DIMO was the first one that kicked it off. But Rob, who is the person, I guess, in charge of DIMO, has been taking a lot of heat for these recent subscriptions. And going over to Discord, you can see originally what was proposed, and a lot of people didn't care for it. And it depends on what device you had when you purchased it. Suppose we were all supposed to know that at some point we will have to pay for subscription. The subscription is really the connectivity between the device in your vehicle to their cloud, their servers, or whatever like that. And depending on what you bought, if you had a Autopilot, you really were only supposed to get 1 year free, but some people are going on 2+ years that own that device and have never paid a subscription. You're supposed to get 2 years free for an R1 and 3 year free for a Macaron. Now, I purchased my Macarons, 19 months ago, and y'all know that because y'all are sick of me hearing the same thing. I paid $89 for each for 3 Macarons. I have yet to ROI on them. And in fact, with the token price that continues to go down, and we're going to look at token price before the end of this video, but you can see I'm going in the wrong direction towards ROI. But again, let me move on. So if that's the case, I should have 17 months roughly left of subscription on those Macarons. And y'all know my thoughts. I will not sell these tokens. Majority of the tokens I got in all my projects I've been holding on to because I think the market sucks, and I'm not selling yet. So I'm holding on to them. When it comes time for my subscription to come in, I'll cross that bridge when it comes, because I just have a feeling in 17 months, this is going to change again, despite what I'm going to talk about today. So people have been losing their minds over the new subscription rates. we kept hearing rumblings and announcements, and then an official announcement that there was going to be an update coming soon. And there have been some major updates to this to this subscription rates. Now, one thing you have to remember is that some people don't use the macarons for what DIMO apparently assumed we were using those macarons for. I have 5 macarons. 3 I paid for, 2 I got free from another buddy who, by the time he got them in and realized what the prices were, he wasn't even worried about setting them up. So he just said, hey, you want these 2? I don't want them. Maybe with me having 5, I'd get worth my while. Still don't. Again, I'm going to say this again. 19 months I've been in this project. I got $210 worth of DIMO in my wallet. And I've had 2 free ones for 3 months now. So the thing about this is, out of my 5 macarons, I have 1, which is on a much older Ford F550 pickup truck that I use for work. That one actually shows some stats on it on my DIMO app. Not all of them, but some of them show stats. My 2 Chevys that I have a Chevy small truck for my son, a bigger Chevy truck that I have, diesel 2500, does not show any stats on the DIMO app. My wife's Toyota, or my daughter's Toyota, shows a few stats. And up until a week ago, this thing had the wrong vehicle in my wife's vehicle. She has a Kia Telluride that we just bought her, and it had a Hyundai. And I had to do all kinds of stuff to get that fixed, and I don't think it shows hardly any stats in it. But they want you to use this towards the stats and think we're going to pay for a subscription to use that towards the stats that you want to look at in a DIMO app. And I argue that that's not what I bought for. That's not what this was presented to us as. And I know I'm kind of going rehashing all this kind of stuff again, and I really not here for that. But so as you can see on my wife's Kia Telluride, it can't even keep up with the mileage on it. It doesn't have anything else. It has battery voltage. So on my son's Canyon, again, same thing. The same the last 7 days, even though he drove it to work yesterday, it has 0 mileage at all. So let's see, on my daughter's little Toyota, same thing, 0 mileage, 0 fuel efficiency, top speed 4 miles an hour. My daughter drove faster 4 miles an hour. So you get my point. My point is, why am I paying a subscription for this? For what? Majority of stuff I can see on the app that I use for GM or for Toyota or stuff like that. So I just want to know where it just should, because, some people have been, I don't want to say use the word attacking. Every project has its cheerleaders. In the Discord, you have these people saying, oh, well, you didn't get this project to sell stuff. You get the project so you can use the analytics. I just showed y'all there's no analytics. Why am I going to pay a subscription for that? Now, if they're selling our data and we're making something off those sales of data, then maybe I would look at a subscription, because the subscription is supposed to be strictly the connection between this device and your vehicle and, again, their servers, their clouds, their project, or whatever like that. One thing that some people are upset on is we thought, and there was some kind of discussion between people. I don't remember the project ever saying this, but I watched the video a little while ago, and y'all know I like to show other videos because I'm not the only YouTuber out there. I'm not stupid. So again, I'm going to show part of Osvaldo's video. Again, I watch his videos. I can't handle the AI voice. I'll be dead honest with y'all, but it is what it is. But he does have some good facts. I will share a link to this to give him props that I am showing his video, because he does cover this actually very well. I'm kind of regurgitating some of this because I know not all my followers follow him. He's only got 2,000 subscribers. I'm surprised he doesn't have more, because he does cover some pretty good deep in projects. I'll subscribe to him. I learn from him. But I just want to show y'all, because there's 1 or 2 facts in this video that I really want to put across to y'all to show you it's not just coming from me. And I want to make sure I kind of explain it the right way. So I'm going to cover 2 different things right now. This will be one of them.
Subscription Pro or Limited, the negative fact is precisely the existence of the subscription that has become mandatory. Because it isn't necessary to specify this is a modus operandi from Web 2 and is certainly not a Web 3. And yeah, this will certainly be annoying. Everyone knew that sooner or later after the free trial, the connectivity had to be paid. But the fact that the team didn't find other solutions, for example, a completely free plan with fewer rewards or sending the minor data via a dedicated app with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connection, is disappointing.
So I think that's part of it. And again, that's why I wanted him to say it, is when you think about it, at one time, Rob was saying that, they had to do this because somebody has to cover the connectivity. They're paying for connectivity, whether it's through Helium, whether it's through LTE, whatever way that this thing is connecting, somebody has to pay for that connection. And what he's bringing up there, what some of us brought up in the Discord is, why not just have it, even though we didn't care for it, and even though we complain about it, but at least with SwordChain, maybe this is why SwordChain did this. They saw this, I'll give them a little bit of credit. They kind of saw this in the future, that somebody has to pay for these cellular connections. I brought this up during the LTE R1 when that came out and warned people about buying this thing, because at some point, somebody's got to pay for that cellular connection. I got to say, at least they didn't hide that fact. But the thing about it is if this then connected to my Bluetooth, like SwordChain does, that was using my cellular connection, and there shouldn't be a subscription rate. And maybe they should have looked at that aspect, like Osvaldo saying. So that was a good point that he brought up, and I'm glad he brought that up. So one thing was that I know for a fact when this was first presented to us a year or two ago, maybe longer than that, it was all about the same thing they kept saying was, right now, if you own a GM vehicle, GM is selling your data, your driving habits, and all the stuff like that. It might be anonymously, but either way, whatever's happening in your vehicle, your air conditioning's on for this amount of time, your heater's on, traction control that had to be activated, that data is being sold to XYZ company and GM's profiting. But if you use DIMO, then DIMO is going to take that data and can sell that for you and whatever. And then they came out with this subscription thing and said, no, we're not selling any data at all. And in fact, they even came out with a tweet, whatever you call it now, an X, that said, we don't sell your data. You can choose to monetize your data through marketplace apps or share it on your own terms. And majority of the people have no idea about this. I still say I'm not going to Craigslist and selling my data off my vehicle. So hold that thought. We're going to talk about that in a second. So then they decided to come out with this whole video is about 20 minutes later. I'm sorry. But hey, we're coming out with new subscription rules. So apparently they emailed some people. I didn't receive the email. Maybe it went to junk. My email filters smarter than I am. But here we go. And it basically says, they're introducing DIMO subscriptions with some updates based on our feedback. Devices bought before June 5th keep their original free trial period. Well, I hope so. Because you never talked about taking off free period. So the fact that they even put this in here is BS, but it is what it is. So devices bought before June 5th keep their original free trial period. AutoPi is 1 year. R1 is 2 years. Macaron is 3 years. Devices bought after at a lower price have shorter trial periods. If you buy one of these devices now, an AutoPi has 6 months, R1 has 6 months, Macaron has 18 months. Tesla, which connect without hardware, gets 2 weeks free. Now, I have a question about this, but again, I'm trying not to get sidetracked here. Starting August 1st, after your free trial ends, you can enroll in 2 different options. For the people, there's one who people who want to be able to see stats on their DIMO app, like the kiss asses and the cheerleaders in the Discord claim. Now you can pay for a higher subscription. This is one thing we did suggest. So if you get a R1 or Tesla AutoPi, you can continue to pay the $8.99 a month, like people talked about, or $89.99 a year, which is a little bit of a discount. If you get a Macaron, like I have, if you want the full options on the app, you pay $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year, which is a little bit of a discount. It's about $1 off. I think it's like $49.99 a year. I'm sorry, $4.99 a month. It breaks down if you pay for the year subscription. Then you have DIMO Limited. That's for people like me. That's what majority of y'all have told me that y'all are in this project for. Hey, we wanted to buy this thing, plug it up. we understand we're not just making free money because they're supposed to be selling our data or moving our data or whatever it is like that. We're not interested in looking at our engine codes and engine speed and RPMs and engine temperatures and stuff like that, especially for somebody like me who out of 5 devices, it works on 1. I just want to make a few demo. And for those people like that, now there are new. So you don't get the DIMO mobile car tracking features, which still earns worldwide, which I have an issue with because that's probably the one thing that did work. But again, on a Macaron, if you don't have any helium devices, like I learned on these 2 trips I recently took, it doesn't matter because you can't track it. I'm telling you, once when I went to New York, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia 2 weeks ago, once I left the area I am in with all my helium devices and I went through New Orleans, it worked in New Orleans. Through Slidell, it worked in Slidell, which is right on the north shore of New Orleans, Cross Lake Punch Train. Once I passed through there, along I-59 and everything, DIMO connected one time in Tennessee. And after that, it did not connect again until I got to Philadelphia the first day. That was it. So you really can't track with a Macaron. But anyway, R1, Tesla, and Autopilot, you're looking at $399 a month, or I guess it's about $299, a little more than $299 a month if you pay for it by the year. If you have a Macaron, you're looking at about $199 a month, or $20 a year, which is about $1.66 a month. Me, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have the attitude towards a yearly subscription for this, kind of like what I have about staking. 12 months is way too long because too much can change in 12 months. There's no way I would do 12 months for this. I'd pay, if I was going to do a subscription, I would do monthly. Now, here's one of the key things now. Is this going to be worth it still? For those of you who catch my Monday videos, normally every Monday when I'm in town, I do a video on what am I currently making in my DPIN crypto projects. And this is it. Always in last place is DIMO. I am curious to see, because I got another announcement I'm making right after this little section, but this level 8 thing might be going down because they're getting rid of an aspect. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Leave you all in suspense. But a brand new Macaron right now is making, again, this was last Monday, 0.14 or 14 cents a day. 14 cents a day. All right. 14 cents a day times 30 days is $4.20. $2 a month. Now you're down to 7 cents a day with a Macaron. Now, I understand what some people are using, and you got the cheerleaders in there, and even Rob himself telling you, if users disconnect as a result of the description, rewards will increase for those who stay committed. And we're working on a way for you to pay for your subscription using DIMO tokens. Now, going on to what I was going to say also, current non-Tesla wireless connection. So people like me who got a level boost, that's what I was saying earlier about the level might be going down. I had connected my GM account to DIMO to get a level boost, which was a reward boost, because that was my online account for my GM, my truck, and for my son's truck, the Toyota account for my daughter's vehicle. Never got a chance to do the Kia because the Kia just got fixed now, and they're canceling it. But for those people who were using the free, you had people who were joining DIMO who didn't even want to buy this, but they could go and just attach their online account with GM to the DIMO app, and were making DIMO. So basically, they put nothing into this, but DIMO saying they're not getting anything out of it either. They're not getting any data out of it or anything like that. So they're canceling that. So that's going to drop that level down. Does that drop my rewards down? So if you people out there who only connected using their online account, never paid for device. If you now want to go and buy an R1 I'll have a link in the description below. You can go buy one on Amazon. It might help my channel out, donating 5.5 cents or something like that. But it's an app. I mean, it's a link for y'all to get to, or you can, I don't care. You can go through the Discord, but you can go and purchase for $9.99 an R1, and they're going to give you a year of DIMO Pro for free. So I think at first it's normally what you get, like 6 months normally. Well, now they're going to give you a year's worth, but you have to fill out this form. So that's one thing you got to fill out. When you order the R1, you add a file. And again, this is only for people who had non-Tesla cars. Again, if you own a Toyota and you want to be part of DIMO, you connected your online account. You never bought an R1 or AutoPie or Macaron or anything like that. This is how you will get that 12-month subscription instead of a 6-month subscription. And for those who are coming up that your subscription is going to be starting August 1st, and you decide that, hey, I still want to be part of this project. I don't mind paying the reduced fees for this DIMO Limited. You then have to click on this form, which will then pop up a new form for you. And it again tells you what you're going to receive. Why am I choosing the limited form? This app, is it useful for me? My car receives limited or incorrect data, and I'm optimizing for cost. Whatever. Or you can put subscriptions are too expensive. I don't care. But what email are you using? And put your contact email. And then they will get you set up with the limited account. And again, here's the fee. Now, I don't know if you're paying with a credit card, or apparently you have to be at first. And I guess they're going to auto bill you. I don't know. Again, I should have 17 months left of Macaron subscription. So I guess I don't have to worry about doing this until that time comes. So from what I'm reading and what I'm gathering is, if you have a Tesla that's connected automatically or electronic or whatever way you want to say it online, that is staying, but you will have to pay for their subscription. Now, another thing, they're saying that, hey, one thing you made it very clear on, but you also told us we're leaving money on the table by not monetizing bulk data. I don't think that's how we worded it, but neither here or there. So now, all of a sudden, we decided they're going to try to start selling bulk data. Now, I can tell you, I'm just going to point this out. People are going to say I'm salty, but I distinctly remember them saying in Discord it didn't work to sell bulk data. But here we are. Who cares? Now they're going to start throwing these sexy numbers around. Prepare yourself. But in July, they're proposing DIMO's new triple burn model. So apparently they also listened to us that the DIMO token is going in one straight direction, and it's not the direction we want to see it going in. But I will argue that, or defend them, saying there's a lot of DPIN and alt tokens doing that right now. But let's keep going. So data brokers will sell anonymized DIMO data and use most revenue to buy and burn DIMO. Now, why most? Why not all of it? If you're getting subscription cost to help support y'all, and this is a new model that y'all are just coming up with supposedly for us, this DIMO token needs as much help as possible, because the word most revenue, as I was just discussing in my Discord with somebody else about another project that said that they would have sales of their NFTs go to most of their token burn, buy and burn and stuff. And we ain't seeing none of it. I don't want to hear the word most. What I think is most and what they think is most is probably two different things. App developers will also burn tokens when accessing data. In network transaction, adding device and transferring tokens will burn data. DIMO. So this technically should help out DIMO. And this is what I was getting at earlier. And even Osvaldo says in his video, technically he's not wrong here. You people who are smashing your products, The people who are smashing your macarons, as Tech Hustler says. People who, I know several people who took the pie out of the auto pie, and now they're using it on wing bits and using it on all kinds of other projects. Those people who are getting rid of them, now there's more rewards coming to us. Technically, I haven't seen that yet. And then I'm going to tell you another contradiction to the same statement. But later, I can show it to you. Later, he brags how you have a bunch of fleets now looking to do all kinds of fleet mapping, doing all kinds of fleet stuff with DIMO. Well, guess what? Right here, you're trying to make it sexy that, hey, if you stay connected, you're going to get an increase in rewards because people are disconnected. Well, guess what? When those fleets connected, you're also bragging about. No, there's not. Sometimes I wonder, you're so worried about bragging about certain things. This isn't the time for it. When you put text out like this, point in the right direction. It's opposite of the way I'm sitting. I understand for the DIMO project and for y'all, this seems like a good thing. But for the people you're trying to keep here, that the same guy who is posting this, like this is some great thing, which again, for him and his project, it's a great thing. But it spits in the face and it contradicts what you're trying to feed to us right here. So what I'm going to tell my people here, my subscribers, is this. Don't bank on any of that. Don't bank on the whole, hey, and the reason I say is because I see people saying this in the Discord. Whatever way I got a point. I see people saying, yeah, don't y'all go ahead and y'all go ahead and go break y'all stuff. Go, y'all go ahead and disconnect. It's gonna make me get more rewards. I'll take that bet all day. Unless one of these sides that he's talking out of his mouth ain't flowing right. August 1st, I think we're gonna see two things happen. This is just Grumpy's prediction. Again, I wouldn't bank on it. I haven't predicted anything correct yet. I think you're gonna see rewards go up to a point. Not a lot, a couple of ticks. And probably not the first rewards after August 1st. Let's take a look at the count. So if I had to guess, definitely not here. But if people start unplugging here, they still had all this. So your first full week of this being unplugged, your first one will be the 12th. I can see rewards going up slightly, possibly noticeably on the 12th. But what I also think you're going to see, I made this apparently back June 6th, it looks like, when it was hit one of these highs back in November, 30 cents down to wherever it's at now, 4 cents, 4.5 cents. And then 94.5% down since all-time high. But, this is the 4-hour chart since November. And I see this is continuing because what you're going to have is, even though you have more rewards, people who are going to be bailing out the project are going to be selling. That's it. Now, another thing that got brought up that people have asked over and over is about staking. They're still saying that if you decided to do a stake and you did it for a year or two, which God bless y'all, I just don't understand that. But hey, if y'all did it, y'all got lured in because of extra rewards, they're stuck. They're not going to redo contracts to make you able to be able to pull out early or anything like that. I don't know how DIMO staking works. I don't know if you can pull out early and just lose all the rewards you made like they do with some other staking. I'm staking for whatever the minimum was, which I believe was 6 months. I should have about 3 months left after that. I'm probably not going to restake after that. I don't know yet. I'm going to make that decision when that decision comes, because by staking, yes, you do get an extra level of rewards. And I guess the longer you stake, the more rewards. But for those who missed my live on Friday night, Grumpy revealed his 10 rules of life, and I'm sure, or crypto, and I'm sure that this is going to keep expanding. But, Grumpy's rule number 9, you don't stake longer than 6 months. because you never know what's going to happen in crypto. I don't stake anything longer than 6 months. Silencio, Solana, DIMO. This goes to show you that no matter how solid you think a project is, too much happens in these projects. I'm hoping, y'all know Wingbits is my number one project out there that I cannot wait for it to go mainnet, and I have the highest hopes for. I keep asking them, are y'all going to have staking? They don't know yet. To me, staking, and some people are against it, but to me, staking locks up those tokens so you don't have to worry about this huge dump. I don't like how Chirp does it, because Chirp locks your tokens so you can't even get them at first. And then once the locking is done, then you're allowed to stake, which makes no sense. But anyway, but even with Wingbits, no matter how positive I think that project is, you're not going to see me stake longer than 6 months. And if they only have something like Helium at one time, I think had, like, you could only do it for like a year or two, I'm not staking. You're not locking my tokens away for that long. There's no way. But for those people who have staked with DIMO for that long, you're screwed. And that's one thing they're not budging on. So I want to say, like, to me, like, this is the good news of the title of my video, Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That if this does work out, this whole thing right here, I think this could really boost this token. Again, not financial advice. Do I think it's going to go back to all-time highs? Hell no. It needs a lot more than this. And that's if most of this revenue does go to the buy and burn DIMO. We'll have to see that. And again, to the people of the project, don't forget Grumpy's rule number 7. Their projects, don't take us for fools. We know how to look at those type of things and to see what's going on. That's how we know this other project that I'm discussing. I'm not going to mention them on this, that's bragging about all these NFTs they're selling. We're not seeing that liquidity go in there. We know how to look at that stuff. Don't play us. So another positive thing, going back to what I was saying earlier, is how many devices are going to be disconnecting. One thing I really didn't take into aspect, but I'm realizing now.
In fact, large fleets of smart cars have connected to DIMO, mainly because they were getting DIMO tokens for free every Monday, and it has led to a longer and longer ROI for miners with lower earnings. The current result, the scheme is updated to date, that more than 110,000 cars connected to DIMO are only smart cars. When the smart car connections will be closed.
Now I want to say, I don't know how many of those are Teslas, because what he's about to say, I don't know if I 100% agree with, but I'm showing you all again because it's easier for him to say it instead of me trying to translate it. But because Teslas will stay connected. And we know Tesla has a large amount of vehicles on here, but I just want to go ahead and say and preface what he's about to say when he makes it sound so exciting. Again, this is financial advice. We'll have to see how correct he is.
When the smart car connections will be closed on July 10th, will happen that next Monday, the rewards of miners or even Tesla will be much, much higher.
So what he's saying was, with 100,000 plus smart cars strictly connected, that and I don't know where he's getting them numbers from. That's why I'm showing his video, but 100,000 cars that aren't using any kind of device at all, that are supposedly just going to be losing their connection. I can kind of see how rewards would be going down because of that. And if all those just get disconnected, again, I don't know how many non-Teslas or if Teslas are in a different category, but that should give a bump up to some of these rewards. Now, when those people realize that happens, are they going to go dump and sell and balances out? I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. But I just felt I felt responsible that I had to at least bring that part to you. Now, this is my last part of his video I'm going to show you, but he puts it basically identical the way I'm going to put it, and I'm going to let him say it because he says it best, or his AI voice says it best. But I want you to know how this is going to be coming from him also, not just me. But that's why I keep trying to tell a lot of people here, pump the brakes. You're not paying for anything until August 1st. And I like the way they're doing this, because when they cancel these online subscriptions, July, you're going to have enough time to see if your rewards go up before some of y'all have to make a decision about a subscription come August 1st. So let's listen to Osvaldo, and he can explain it better than me.
I know there's a lot of discontent right now. Honestly, if you want to quit, I understand, especially with that subscription that, let's face it, everyone hates. But the advice I can give is to wait until Monday the 21st of July and not to focus on the current earnings. It's kind of tough to say, but having eliminated those big fleet-free smart cars that were just there without any utility will actually be positive, mainly for those who bought the miner and will now be able to get good rewards.
So one thing he goes on to say is that he is a big fan of DIMO, and I've had actually some issues with Osvaldo's DIMO videos in the past because the way he made it sound, the DIMO dollars and kept throwing that number, it made it sound like the rewards were much higher than what they were, and they weren't. But even him, who is one of the biggest bulls of DIMO, who's pushed it and is in it, even he says he's only doing the limited subscription on his autopause. So take that for what it's worth. Now, as far as the apps go, I know I have tried to use one of the apps, and you couldn't even get the email to connect. They said you got to do it a certain way or something like that, and things like that need to be resolved. Basically, I'll close out kind of with the same attitude as Osvaldo had in his video. It's easy for me to say the usual spiel. I guess I need to do my little scroll for those who are here who haven't seen my scrolling thing before, because you'll know I'll sell when I'm ready to sell, and that this is my disclaimer on that. I'm telling everybody, take a deep breath. It don't make any decisions, harsh decisions, smashing decisions, or anything until August 1st. I'm guessing you will have to subscribe. It ain't going to be automatic. At least I would think so, but I don't know yet either. And again, I'm going to say this again for people who skipped around in the video. I don't have to make that decision until August 1. 16 months from now, 17 months from now, whatever the hell it was. I am curious to see, like Osvaldo says, what are going to happen to rewards when all these online things come and get dropped. Me as Mr. Negative, again, rule number 10. People know I'm always negative, because then you're always prepared if things go south. And if things are better than you think it's going to be, then it's a positive thing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when all these 100,000 so-called vehicles disconnect. And like he says, by August 1st, you should have a pretty good idea on whether or not your tokens are going to go up. We'll see if people sell tokens. Some of these people who have these online accounts with these smart vehicles might have connected this a year ago and never thought twice anything about it. It's been accumulating. And then when it gets disconnected, they might say, what the hell is this? And then sell. Who knows? Or you got the positive of this data broker selling this bulk data. They sell some bulk data. We've seen in other DPIM projects these burns that start happening and really boost these projects. Silencio was one. They had a nice burn that helped their token price out a little bit. It's starting to wear off a little bit. So people don't think I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But, some of these other ones have had some pretty decent return reactions to token burns. Let's hope that happens here. So hopefully, y'all got some good information out of this with the new subscriptions and stuff like that. Might help y'all with your decision. And again, because I know people are going to ask me, I don't have to make a decision for 17 months. What you should do for August 1st, I don't know. If you haven't tried to use the apps portion of or the market portion of the project where you can go and try to sell your data or whatever it is, or hook up your data to these other apps and stuff like that, you might want to try it, see what the rewards are. Again, I know when I tried it, I couldn't sign up for some reason. I am a little hanky on why does it only want certain vehicles, or you go pick the vehicles. Why wouldn't it just automatic? I just don't understand these partners. We're in DIMO. Are there people out there who don't want to sell their data? Is that why this is? Even though we thought, at least I did, and majority of the people I talked to out there thought this was a data selling project. Is it that really DIMO wasn't that, and that's why they're offering you this option to sell your data, but for some people who don't, then they're not automatically doing it. I don't know. I know that there's supposed to be a spot, it said, where you're going to have to opt in for selling that data. So maybe that is what that's about. I don't know. We'll do another video to cover that without making this video any longer than it already has to be. So we'll keep up with it. We'll figure out what's going on. I will be updating this on my Monday video, so make sure you check out those videos on Mondays. Normally I put them out on Tuesday morning because it gets to be so late Monday doing an hour-long video covering all these projects. Also, Thursday I do a live. It's a cool just kind of chit-chat thing where we all just BS for like an hour or 2 hours sometimes. I'll keep going as long as people are asking questions and participating. Sometimes it goes 3 hours. People come and go out of it. It's cool. Check it out. So also check out my Discord, links in the description below. So I appreciate, as usual, all the support. And I got a bunch more videos to do to catch up on a lot of different things going on in projects. So see y'all in the next video.